Next on Good Morning El Paso, we continue our complete coverage of the El Paso Children's Hospital's growing debt to University Medical Center. New information about how the debt will soon affect you, the taxpayer.
Plus, our round-the-clock news team was on the scene of a crash that had a portion of I-10 shut down for hours. We'll have the latest.
Also new this morning, the parents of James Holmes trying to spare their son's life, finally testifying in court.
Where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
It looks like the Children's Hospital bankruptcy might actually hit you directly in the wallet.
That's what the head of University Medical Center is expected to tell county commissioners a little later today.
The county of El Paso warns a tax increase most probably will come due to the mounting debt the El Paso Children's Hospital owes UMC.
The bankrupt Children's Hospital has not made a single payment to UMC for more than a year. We'll have the latest details coming up in just a few minutes.
But first, let's say good morning to El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning. Let's get to Crystal Cly first and foremost.
Yes, it is 6 o'clock. Kids are getting ready for school. Crystal, everyone needs to know if they need that rain jacket.
Oh yeah, they saw the rain overnight. Maybe you heard it overnight, and the puddles are still out there. But the rain is starting to die down in some areas. Clouds and radar maps showing us, though, that some of us still getting a nice strong hit in the Blue Hill of New Mexico. Good moderate level of rain there. Also, we still have that line of thunderstorms, although the lightning is starting to die down a bit, that is moving through Culberson County. It's coming our direction, but it's rather slow moving, which makes me think this might not make it into our neck of the woods if it holds together for several hours. Still, that chance of rain, unlike we've seen the past few days, it actually will be light to scattered throughout the day and stronger into the night instead of only focused on the night. Into El Paso and Las Cruces, we zoom in there. El Paso not actually getting rain at this point, but we do have some that's just right to the south of us, and that's tracking north, so near Tornillo to San Eli. Some light to moderate rain possible here in the next hour, and then very light rain is still falling in Las Cruces according to our radar, with more moderate showers also up into Otero County. Those chances of rain, as mentioned, they continue into today. 73 is your temperature in El Paso. Our relative humidity 70%. Look at Las Cruces, 88%. Rain out there registering, and 67 only for the temperature. So our temperature is starting a bit cooler than it has been, and that's going to be the result of this afternoon temperatures cooler than they have been. We'll look at your forecast highs, rather. Plus, we're going to talk about rain chances finally dropping in the days to come. It's all coming up.
All right, thanks, Crystal. The mounting debt owed to University Medical Center by El Paso Children's Hospital will likely impact taxpayers. Happening today, UMC CEO is expected to propose a tax hike. We have Good Morning El Paso's Denise Olivas live with more on this story. Good morning.
And it's what taxpayers and county officials feared, forcing taxpayers to shell out more money while El Paso Children's recovers its debt. In a meeting later today, University Medical Center CEO Jim Valenti will present UMC's budget and a proposed tax rate to county commissioners. In documents filed yesterday in bankruptcy court, the county explained that UMC provides $33,000 per day in services to Children's Hospital. The monthly rent is $10.3 million. The bankruptcy Children's Hospital did not make a single payment for more than a year. The county says $123 million in rent alone is owed, but Children's maintains that amount is inflated. The county added it doesn't expect Children's will make any payment for fiscal year 2016. Just last week, Children's reported a more than $2 million loss. The documents went on to say that UMC's tax rate is determined by the expected revenue, and because Children's isn't paying its debt, a tax hike may be needed to overcome that shortfall. So again, UMC's CEO is expected to go before county commissioners to propose a tax hike that may be needed, and any proposal would still need to be approved by county commissioners. Of course, we'll be there as all those developments come to light, and we'll bring you the latest in our later newscast. For now, we're live in South Central El Paso. Denise Olivas, ABC7.
All right, Denise, thank you. A portion of I-10 was shut down for hours this morning. The I-10 eastbound lanes were blocked in Vinton due to a semi that jackknifed earlier this morning. We're told there are no injuries and traffic was being directed onto Donovan. It has since been reopened this morning. An update this morning to a trial that has been going on all week. A judge has reduced the bond of a Fort Bliss soldier accused of driving drunk and killing 2 construction workers last year. 19-year-old Jan Michael Nieves Delgado was being held on a $200,000 bond, but this morning it's a $50,000 bond. Police say he crashed through the barriers on I-10 at Schuster while the men were working on the new Spur 1966 overpass. Nieves Delgado is charged with 2 counts of intoxicated manslaughter.
Our newsroom worked to get the criminal complaint affidavit filed in U.S. District Court, and now ABC7 does have a better understanding of why the feds say former Border Patrol agent Lawrence Madrid abused his position as a CBP supervisor. The affidavit states that Madrid allowed 3 Mexican immigrants with false documents to pass through the pedestrian inspection lanes. The affidavit even states one of the immigrants was a known felon who'd previously been deported, and that immigrant reportedly admitted to paying Madrid money in exchange for letting him enter the U.S. Tonight, Madrid remains in federal custody charged with alien smuggling. A Horizon City woman is sentenced to 3 years and 9 months in prison for selling meth. 28-year-old Natalie Arvio Castro pleaded guilty to selling the drugs along with another man who had already been sentenced in that case. Investigators say the 2 were paid to take the meth from El Paso to Las Cruces, where they intended to sell it. Castro was caught by authorities with the meth inside a suitcase in her possession.
The parents of James Holmes are trying to spare their son's life. His father told jurors in Colorado that Holmes had a normal childhood until mental illness took over. ABC's Clayton Sandell has been following the trial and has this story developing now.
Be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
In a Colorado courtroom, a mass murderer is calling on his mom and dad to help save his life.
Is James Holmes your son?
Yes, he is.
Robert and Arlene Holmes sat quietly in court nearly every day of their son's trial. Now they're taking the stand.
Prior to July 20th, 2012, had James ever confided in you suicidal or homicidal thoughts that he was having?
Nope, he's never expressed anything like that.
The same jury that recently convicted Holmes of murdering these 12 people and injuring 70 more moviegoers in 2012, now hearing from friends and family trying to keep him from the death penalty.
Do you still love him?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Well, he's my son, and we always got along pretty well, and he was actually really an excellent kid.
And later today, the gunman's mother is expected to take the stand. Her son cannot get the death penalty unless all of the jurors agree, but if their decision is not unanimous, Holmes will spend the rest of his life in prison, no parole. Clayton Sandell, ABC News, Centennial, Colorado.
At 6:08, we have a traffic reminder right now about a big closure for the next few days. I-10 East will be shut down between Schuster and the downtown exit from 9 at night until 6 in the morning. That closure will be going on for the remainder of the week. Give yourself a little extra time out there.
And at 6:08, we are going to take a look at our text-out traffic cameras at I-10 and Piedras in central El Paso. You can see there are some cars on the road, but it doesn't look like there's any problems to tell you about. Just be careful if you're heading out the door.
Good news for truck owners this morning and pickup manufacturers.
Gas prices are continuing to fall. We'll explain what the drop is doing for business.
And it was back to school this week for one school district here in the borderland. We'll share some of your photos coming up after the break.
And meteorologist Crystal Pry has that all-important forecast for this morning. Crystal.
And speaking of photos, I've got some great pictures of last night's lightning and a look at radar live as the rain moves through this morning. It's after your break.
And this is ABC7, where news comes first.